What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mode video. So today I wanted to discuss the upcoming CX9 SMG. So we did get a lot of news pertaining to Season 9. I think honestly this is probably going to be the biggest season of the entire year before, we move on. And given the fact that, the season after Season 9, which is Season 10, obviously, I think anyone could count, is going to be the anniversary update. So within these next two seasons, it's going to be absolutely crazy. But for now, let's actually talk about the CX9 SMG because there is a little bit of history behind this weapon. So the CX9 SMG is basically a very fast fire rate SMG, of course, for Modern Warfare 2019. It actually came out post Season 6. Usually the last seasons for every mainline Call of Duty game is always Season 6. But the CX9 as well as the COD, which is of course the Davra in this game, came out about maybe over half a year after Black Ops Cold War came out. Much like Cold War with, the Vargo and a lot of different weapons post to their Season 6, I guess Modern Warfare 2019 also had a lot of leftover content that was yet to be released. And I think the last ones were actually the CX9 and the CODs. But unfortunately, during those 6 seasons, it just never came out. So I guess they decided, fuck it, let's just, release it right now. The weapons were actually kind of first discovered within, one of the random updates of the game. And yeah, you were able to use these weapons in, Spec Ops, but you were not able to actually use it in multiplayer until they officially released it. And yeah, these weapons were actually pretty good, especially with the Psychovs and the full auto. I think they actually had to nerf them. It's weird that they're supporting their game after almost 2 years of post-release development. But I guess it had to be done because it was kind of causing a lot of issues with not only Modern Warfare multiplayer, but also I think also in Warzone. As for the CX9, I don't really think it created too many problems. It was probably really good in multiplayer, but I've only seen quite a little bit of gameplay, not to the point where I kind of know how the gun functions in its entirety. I would say that based on what I've seen, it seems like a pretty good SMG, and given that it's supposed to be a super fast fire rate that's coming to this game. It is kind of a cause for concern because usually with any SMG that comes to this game with any high fire rate, they're usually on the above average side of things. This was evident with the Fennec as well as the MAC-10. The OTS-9 was okay. It did have a high fire rate, but compared to those other two weapons I just mentioned, they weren't really that. It wasn't really that bad. If you count the CBR as a fast-firing weapon, because technically it kind of is, not to the point where it's Fennec level, but it still was extremely powerful. Yeah, fast-firing weapons in this game have been notoriously strong. And look, it's nothing new with Call of Duty. There's always been fast-firing weapons that have been meta. We had the MSMC from Black Ops 2. We also had the VMP from Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 eventually. So yes, it's not a new thing for Call of Duty to ever have a fast-firing weapon that's meta, but when it's a little too strong to the point where, it's the only viable option in the entire game, then it starts to become a problem. But obviously, with Call of Duty Mobile, they have improved vastly when it comes to balancing. So even if this gun does get released, I don't really think there's not going to be not a single counter to it. So yeah, I'm sure you could use a bunch of weapons that could destroy it. So funny thing about me recording this video right now, I did have some prior voice narrations earlier, but more information did come out for this gun. And actually including the stats, which is probably the most important thing about the gun, obviously. So I do want to go over that with you right now. So here are the current stats for the CX9. So it's actually kind of surprising to me because I was expecting some sort of 4-shot hit potential, and obviously there is with the damage multipliers, but keep in mind it's only up to the stomach, chest, and only the head. But if you're shooting around the arms or even the legs, yeah, you're not going to get that type of damage. Also, I'm kind of grateful that there is no 3-shot potential, but yes, given that this gun does have a pretty fast fire rate, maybe it's going to make up for the lower damage. And keep in mind, we still have to keep into account those special marksman rounds that they usually have with these types of guns, where I believe this one is actually a 3-round burst with a 12-round mag. So if you're able to land at least one burst at a certain range, you're going to be able to kill someone instantly. It might also add some bullet speed benefits. If you guys do pay close attention to this image, you can see that the bullet speed, from what it looks like, is actually 450 meters per second. Of course, with different barrels or different other attachments, there could probably be a way to extend that bullet velocity. Probably most likely within maybe the mag section or maybe even the barrel section. As for the range, I guess I would say it's pretty average. I mean, especially with the damage drop off, it goes from like 24, 18 down to 12 by 25 meters. So yes, it is going to take quite a bit of shots to kill people if you are going to shoot that far away. But again, I mean, we have range extending attachments, and there is a pretty high chance that you could mix maybe a monolithic suppressor with a marksman barrel, and just, you know, maybe have no stock and all this other fast stuff to kind of like make up for like the loss of movement. So you know, maxing out the range, I don't really know how far that's actually going to go. But let's say that is actually possible, where you could put both of them together and it won't cause many movement speeds. And look, we have to keep in mind that a lot of SMGs have been released, even if they're like, you know, in the Modern Warfare attachment format, they have been a little faster. I mean, if you look at the Striker 45, it's a pretty fast gun for the amount of damage that it actually does. But also keep in mind with the bullet speed, that's kind of like the downside for it. So the CX9, I don't really expect it to be too different when it comes to ADS speed. So having both the monolithic and the whatever marksman barrel that they have might not be that big of a deal if you could just make up for all the attachments. So let's say even if you put all those things together and you have like maybe 50% extra range, you're really only going to extend the 4-shot range up to like maybe 5 meters. So instead of it being 10 on its initial range, it's going to go up to 15, and the same goes for the others. But of course, I mean, if 18 goes to like 20 with the 1.1 times multiplier, there is a chance that the 5-shot could be probably more than what it deserves. But right now, I'm just going based off of just simple assumptions, because I don't really know how fast they're going to have the gun in this game. Because from what I saw in Modern Warfare, I mean, it's extremely fast, pretty much almost as fast as the Fennec. But there's a chance that they could probably make it faster, or they can make it slower. There could be an attachment that actually makes the gun shoot faster. So we don't really know what type of attachments they're going to have yet. But the two ones that obviously are going to make it into, you know, this game is obviously the 50-round mag. We've already seen it in some of the Chinese gameplay stuff where they're like breaking down certain things. And also the fact that, I mean, yeah, it's going to have the marksman rounds. I mean, if it had it with the Striker, it's probably going to have it with this gun. And it also had it in Modern Warfare 2019. So there's a chance they're going to stay faithful, at least to some of the attachments. But of course, when it comes to the barrels, they're probably not going to be named the default standard where it's like MIP light barrel or something like that. They're probably going to have their own custom names now. And, you know, recently, most of these guns have been having that recently, which is good. I mean, I kind of like the diversity of names. It's better than OWC Marksman or OWC Ranger or something like that. I kind of like the new way that they're naming these barrels. Like, they're keeping it faithful to where the original weapon was or where it came from. So my final thoughts, at least right now, is, I mean, this SMG is going to be good. I know for a fact it will. I mean, keep in mind, it's going to come out with a Mythic. So there's no way, they can't afford to keep the weapon weak. As it goes for ranked, I'm not even too sure myself. In perhaps in BR, like Alcatraz. I mean, it might actually be a very good gun. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, there's a lot of fast-firing weapons that just have melted me in the past, and I've melted other people with it in Alcatraz. So yeah, I mean, there's a good chance it could probably thrive there if it doesn't thrive in multiplayer, or maybe it could just thrive in both. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for some more COD mobile content. I'll see you guys next time.